Hello and welcome to the Philippines. You will never know until you go to the Philippines. And I see many foreigners here now. I see many foreigners from many different countries. Met a number of them. Anyway, I am going to go into that discussion a little bit. Why you might want to come, what you're going to find when you get here. And anyway, I'm down in I'm in Cebu City. I'm in SRP, South Road Properties. This is down in the area. It's a U-turn area. People going south, if they want to do a U-turn, there's a U-turn area. I just came under that, and this is actually looking back north towards Cebu City. This road here. It's not open to traffic yet, but on weekends especially, people will jog out here, walk out here, and that's Phil Invest's Il Corso shopping center. We're going to drive by that here in a little bit. I'm going to point out a number of things along the way, some new developments that are happening, and discuss about coming to the Philippines. Quite a number of people have come. Not nearly what it was like before the crisis, but I see a lot of the hotels that were closed until very recently. One hotel just down the street from me just opened up, I think, in the last week or so. So a lot of hotels, resorts have been waiting for the crowds to come in, and this is the high season, basically. Christmas season, as well as so December, January, February, when it's cold in the northern climate. A lot of those people come to warmer climates. And anyway, we're out on the main highway that goes north and south here, and it is almost a freeway, not technically a freeway, but it's wide open for a bit here anyway. So over here to the right, you have Il Corso, which is owned by Phil Invest. Got some parking in there. It's become fairly popular on weekends, especially. They've got a food court down here a little bit further. Lots of more stores are finally opening up. It's been pretty much closed for about 3 years during this crisis. No travel allowed around the world, much of the world. Philippines has finally started opening even to unvaccinated with a negative antigen test. Anyway, the food court's just off to the right over here. Parking in there gets very busy parking in that north parking lot. Big tall building right ahead of us, that is the new Star Casino Resort and Hotels. We're going to have a couple hotels, resort, boardwalk type area by the sea. And it's a large casino, presently under, I think it's still a soft opening. They're still doing some construction inside, expanding the gaming areas. I ate at a restaurant there, a little cafe, I guess, hotel lobby type cafe. South Road Properties is where they held the main parade event for Sinulog Festival, huge Sinulog Festival. And I still see a lot of younger people. I don't think they are retired. Probably come here for a month or so to enjoy their vacations here in the Philippines. And like the title of this video stated, until you go, have you done that in your own country? You've thought about traveling across the country to another part of the country, and you put it off, and you put it off, you put it off. And anyway, we're just going by over here on the left. That is SM Seaside Mall in SRP, South Road Properties. That big tower there. For a couple years, it's a pretty new mall, pretty large. It had signs by the elevator going up that tower, opening soon. And I don't think it's ever opened still. I think they were hoping for some high-end restaurants to rent those spaces out. Would have been a great view. Got Mactan Channel just over to the right, the third bridge over there. You can see in the distance. We'll drive by it. There are some plans to make a little bit of a, I think, a roundabout near SMC side where people don't have to go way down to that U-turn down there. So it'll be a large traffic circle, I believe, is what I've read, and then even a walkway, pedestrian walkway over to the seaside of the highway, and a bit of a boardwalk over there. I think that's what I read. Eventually, you will be able to take, and here's the exit off to the CCLEX, Cordova Cebu Link Expressway, the bridge, and about 8.5 kilometers. What would that be? About 6 miles, close to 6 miles, 5-6 miles. And they're going to open up a lane for bicycles as well as walking across that, and I will walk across that one day when they open that up. And I read recently, at the present time, there is no way, if you're coming from Mactan Island across the bridge this direction, there is no way to exit and go north into Cebu City. I have read that there is our plans to make that exit ramp going north. Don't know how many years that will take to implement, or if it's actually been funded and studied yet, but I believe that's the plan. It's part of the problem. Everybody has to go south, do U-turn, come back this way. So one question I have is, can you afford to live where you're living now? With inflation, with fuel costs, with energy costs, electric costs, food costs, total inflation. Can you afford to stay there long term? And I've been when I get up in the morning, I probably shouldn't do that. It puts me in a bad mood some days. I read a lot of international news, Philippine news, U.S. news, European news, and Asian news. And it appears this inflation is going to be with us for a while. And the high cost of, even if the inflation is tamped down, the high cost of fuel. And of course, everything comes by transportation, and they use fuel. Therefore, transportation costs add a lot to the cost of products. We are living in a very fast-changing world, and how are you going to adapt, or what decisions are you going to make to try to enjoy your future, your life on this planet Earth? Migration, people migrating around the world, is because of a number of things. Wars, conflicts, costs of living, a lot of people looking for a better way of life. Many Filipinos go overseas to work, send money back to their family, for instance. This park off to the right, pretty large park, Plaza Independencia Historical Park. Just on the opposite side of that is Fort San Pedro, historic fort, and you can go in there for very little, I think about 30, 40 pesos, maybe it was free for a long time. And Pier 1, straight ahead is Pier 1, Ferry Pier, and then going to the left, you've got Pier 2, Pier 3, Pier 4. Pier 2 and 3, I think, are basically passenger terminals as well. And not sure about the rest of them, if they're passenger and or freight terminals. Cost of living is one of many factors that people look at when they're deciding where to move, across town, to another state, to another province, in your own country, or to another nation. And whereas inflation is relatively high here also, some food products, especially the imported goods, have gone up. Electricity has gone up, as I've discussed in another video. And you make choices what you're going to eat. And I like a lot of imported stuff, so it costs me a little bit more that way. This is the main north-south, that building straight ahead of us. That is Robinson's Galleria Condominiums, and I've done a video there. In fact, for those of you who don't know, I've done dozens and dozens of videos of condominiums. Real estate agents, when I came here 7 years ago, would grab me in the mall and say, "Come and look at my condominium." And I always had a camera, would take videos, start putting them up. so you can see what they look like inside. A little discussion about costs of living, other travel videos, lots of real estate related videos. And as I was saying, we are in the high season, and during the crisis that started January, February, March of 2020, all international travel was basically shut down, and millions and millions of foreigners left the Philippines. So tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, our units are sitting empty. Hotel rooms, resorts, condominiums, apartments, houses for rent or for sale. And there again, just to the left is Robinson's Galleria, and they've got the Robinson's Galleria Mall, which is where the immigration office has moved to. They are no longer in J Center Mall in Mandaue City. They are now in Robinson's Mall Galleria right there. So I have seen, if I go online and check prices, I see some people who have generally rental prices have dropped minimum 10%, 20%. Mine dropped 25%, what they used to get. 30, 40%, depends upon the location, of course. Depends upon if you find a motivated owner. If an owner bought the property pre-selling when it was cheaper to purchase it, they can afford to rent that out for a lower price than if they bought it at the peak price time, right before the travel lockdowns around the world. So, as foreigners, we're into more than two categories, but break it down into three categories. People who are really on a very, very, very tight budget, have to be very, very careful. And so you got that group of people. And the best way to find a lower rental is just to go into an area that you think you might want to rent from, start walking around, talk to the locals, ask them if they know of any rentals. The cheaper rentals oftentimes do not get online, though occasionally they do. And I've talked about that in other videos. We're coming up on that tan building right there. That is not Robinson's, it is Radisson Blu Hotel. And that is just across the street from SM Mall in Cebu City, just to the left here. And they're building a Radisson Red also over in Mandaue. And I think I mentioned that in one of my other videos anyway. Anyway, and then there are those like me who have a medium income, and Bayfront Hotel, I think it's called Bayfront, just there to the left, just a block away from SM Mall as well. Nice place. And average pension, let's say, and we still need to be careful. The great majority of us fall into that category. It's important to stay in control of our finances. And we're just crossing from Cebu City over to Mandaue City when we cross that river there. But we want a decent place to live. We want to live comfortably. We want to be happy here. So we make those kind of decisions. Then there are a number of people, I don't know, 10, 15, 20% of people with a very large pension, savings, whatever. They've got the money and they can spend. And those people are looking not so much at the price, they're looking for where they want to live, how is it furnished, and they're looking at the amenities and whatever else is important to them. So there's three different groups of people basically, and you need to understand that and stay in control of your money. You can live relatively cheaply here. Sooner or later, there's going to be unexpected expenses. There's going to be medical expenses, dental expenses. If you have a girlfriend or wife, they're going to have needs that you're probably going to want to take care of. Anyway, the point is, those of you who haven't been here or have only had short trips here, the point of this video is I suggest if come here, visit the Philippines, and travel. What I tell many people, because what I did, I became comfortable in Cebu City, and I've heard many other people say the same thing. Yeah, Cebu City, other cities, they're big enough to keep you busy, and you get comfortable. You don't travel, you don't see other areas. So my advice is to when you get here, travel a little bit, right away. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.